Hi everyone, this is Miss Susan from the Free Library of Northampton Township. I'm here today for Mad Science, and today we're going to be making oobleck. What is oobleck, you might ask? Well, you might have learned in school that there are certain states of matter. Sometimes we have a solid, like a table. Sometimes we have a liquid, like water. And sometimes we can have air, which is a gas. Those three types or states of matter is something we've seen every day. But there is another one, and oobleck is a non-Newtonian liquid which acts sometimes like a solid and sometimes it acts like a liquid. So that's kind of fun to play around with. Looks a lot like slime. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you pick up your packet at the library. You'll be getting some cornstarch. Cornstarch you find at the grocery store. Cornstarch is in a lot of our food. Your own bowl, a spoon, and some paint if you want to make blue oobleck. Now the first thing I did was I'm going to zoom in on here, is protect my surface of my table. I have a paper towel here. If you have maybe a plastic tablecloth, that works great too. The first thing I'm going to do, or the next thing I'm going to do rather, is to put all of my cornstarch right into my bowl. It's about half a cup of cornstarch. All right. Now I'm going to fill up the same cup with about maybe third cup of water. You want to start with a little bit of water, and you can always add more water. If you put too much water in, it's not going to act like oobleck. It's going to act like a liquid. What I'm going to do to the water before I put it in my cornstarch is to add my paint. You don't have to use paint if you don't want to. You can make white oobleck. But the best way to get that paint color is to add it to your water before you add it to our solid. All right, so mix it up for a minute or two. Probably not even that long. Give it a mix. You're going to take that water and add it to our solid. If you want to do a little bit at a time, that's what I like to do, just in case I add too much. Now this is going to get a little messy, and you'll see it's a little hard to stir. Add a little bit more. This will take a minute or two. It's going to be tough to stir. It's not like stirring water. It's going to be a little bit crumbly. Add a little bit more water. But don't give up. That's starting to look good. It's starting to look like maybe like a ooze or the mud you play with at the beach would look like this. But keep stirring it, keep working on it so that blue liquid is all the way mixed with my white solid, because that's the best way to see this oobleck in action. Now if you feel like it's still too crumbly, and mine's still acting like a solid, it's still a little crumbly, I'm going to add a little bit more of my water. Okay. Now how do you know you have enough? This is looking good. Now a solid doesn't move around, right? Like a liquid. Liquid's going to flow. The solid stays. This cup is always going to look like a cup. But a liquid is always going to take the shape of the container. So this looks terrific. All right, I'm going to show you. Now if I take my spoon out, does that look like a liquid to you? Move it around in your bowl. That looks like a liquid to me, right? Okay, now I'm going to put my finger in. This is how it gets messy. I'm going to put it in and it's going to go right in. I can feel the bottom. Now when I take it out, I can take it out in pieces. I can even make a little ball. but then it goes back to a liquid again. It's going to feel in my hand like a solid, but if I hold it still, it's going to feel and act like a liquid. Try another piece. I can pick up a whole chunk, make it into a ball. And for just a second there, it feels like a ball. Look at that. But then I stop and it goes back into a liquid. So everything is made up of atoms, molecules, and in a solid, our small particles are very close together. In a liquid, there's some room between those particles, so they get to move around a little bit. But if I do things fast and I put some pressure on it, I can make it act like a solid. But if I slow down and give time to my particles, it's going to act again like a liquid. So I do it fast, solid, slow, liquid. This is a fun, very messy project. Now if you put this in a container with a lid, you'll be able to play with this for a little while. If you leave it out so some of the water can evaporate or become into a gas, then this will going to act even more like a solid. If I added too much water, it's just going to be a liquid and not at all like a solid. This is really fun. It's so neat to feel and fun to play with. If I squeeze it really hard, I can make it feel like a solid. And then if I stop squeezing it, it's a liquid. All right, so enjoy your oobleck. Have